Hello and welcome to RC Copter Love. Today I have two very important informations for you. First of all, I reached a magical number. I reached 10,500 flights with all my CP helicopters together, and more than 10,000 of these 10,500 flights altogether with all my OMP Hobby machines together. So the M1, the M1 Evo, the M2, the M2 V2, M2 Evo, and my M2s here inside in these scale canopies. These are two. This is one M2 Explorer. It's my very first heli. You don't recognize it anymore, but you see maybe the black motor. So it's an Explorer. It was my very first helicopter from OMP I bought in May 2021. And here is an M2 V2 inside in this EC 145 fuselage. And of course, my newest baby, the biggest of all, the M4. The second thing I have to announce you is that Jonas Wackershauser and OMP Hobby have invited me to the OMP Hobby Heli Pilot Team. So I'm an official. I had to think because I don't know this exact name so good. So I am now an official OMP Hobby Heli Team pilot. You see it on this T-shirt. It's my T-shirt, and I'm very happy and very proud. And I think I'm a little bit a special team pilot because I'm probably the only one. Oh, I came this line here. I'm probably the only one who's not a fantastic 3D pilot. I'm doing acrobatics, and you have to call them 3D acrobatics, but I'm doing them in a full size style, and that has a very simple reason. You see that I'm loving scale models. I'm having these two, and I love to fly helicopters in scale style, and this has a very simple reason. All my love for the RC helicopter hobby comes from the love for the full-size helicopters. So I told you in the first video that I was observing as a child the full-size helicopters, the emergency helicopters that were landing in the hospital, and even until today, I'm again. It's magic. I'm now in the second half of my life, and again I'm living close to a hospital, and there are landing many machines. I don't know the exact name. It's looking very similar to this, but it has another tail rotor system. What's now called this with this built in. Okay, very professional. So it's a newer version of this EC 145. Fenestron. Now I remember. And every time I hear this helicopter landing, and it's unfortunately in the summer it's very often, I'm going on the balcony and I having a look how it lands. And we have a very rich family here close to my house in Katowice, and they have an own Robinson R44. You can't believe it. They have a huge house, and in their garden there's parking Robinson R144. It's their own. They have an own pilot. So I'm listening to this helicopter, and I differentiate these boats. I know when the Robinson is flying and when the Eurocopter machine with the Fenestron is flying. So I'm crazy for helicopters, and OMP explained me why they took me to the team. That it has two reasons. First of all, they like my absolute passion, and it's not played. So I'm an actor, but this passion I don't have to play, so it's natural. It's my private passion. I'm so happy that finally I learned flying. so that I'm flying every day. I told you so often I'm flying every day. You might wonder, coming to the first information I gave you, how I'm taking track of the number of flights. It's very easy. It's in a very analog way, like I'm at all an analog guy. I'm writing every day a small number. In this case, for Monday, the 4th of September, it was an 8 for the M2 and an 8 for the M4. So I was flying 8 batteries, 8 flights, sometimes much more flights because I'm doing a lot of landing training, but I count always a battery as a flight. So 16 flights on this day, and this is my daily amount of flights. So I'm doing this every day. So every month I'm flying between, 450 flights. And so in these 2 years and now 4 months of my whole RC helicopter career, I was flying these, I have a kind of diary. I was drawing by myself this picture of a helicopter. I don't know if you see it. And I love this sticker. I have it on almost every pack and on my radio pack. It says, "Stand back, RC helicopter pilot. If I duck, you should run." And I love this sticker. So, and I have counted them. I have always, I have this kind of, it's like a small diary. Every important step is written here. The first time I made a loop, the first time I made a front flip, the first time I made a back flip, the first time, that was for me an absolutely important goal. It was forward flight roll, and that was reached in this year in, May or April. So I had crashes, and so I have noted here it's 10,588 flights on Monday. So you can think it's a bit crazy, but I think it's important to keep track of my number of flights because I'm interested how much I was flying. I'm not writing this one, that is the UX 300 or the EC 145 or it's the V2. I'm just writing M2. And okay, it's not very, maybe very professional, but for me this is enough. I want to know how much I was flying, and I'm writing, of course, now the M4. The numbers are getting very high, the M4 numbers, because I love to fly this machine. It's the sound of these blades, the look in the air, and this machine brought me very many things. I'm flying now very high because it's so visible. And also with the smaller machines, I bought myself another M2 Evo in the same orange, so they are now paired. And I even ordered myself an orange M1 canopy because they are so great visible. It's fantastic. I'm not the youngest guy. I have very good eyes. I'm seeing, sometimes I make a joke that I see things that don't exist. So many people don't understand it, but I think you will understand. It's just a joke. I had always the pink or the yellow canopies. My first M2, this one here, was coming in the yellow, racing yellow Explore canopy. I love it very much. It has this green window, so I love the design. I have to tell you, this was a crazy journey, and I'm so happy that OMP Hobby was really giving me a kind of, acknowledgement. They told me they love my passion, and they have another reason why they want to have me as a team pilot. I am crashing extremely few, so I am really proud to be able to tell you that in this 10,500, now almost 10,600 flights, I was crashing exactly 43 times. So I was counting the crashes. I don't count if the helicopter is, I don't know, tilting because because I was standing a little bit on the ground was not flat. I'm flying very often in very natural terrain where there are the ground is not really flat surface, and sometimes it falls in the last moment. But if nothing happens, so when the helicopter falls to the side, what happens very rarely, I don't count this as a crash because there is no damage involved. I think one of the reasons why I'm crashing so few is I'm fighting until the very, very, very last moment. I try to keep my helicopter flying, even if it looks hopeless, even if it's lying almost on the ground and I'm pushing it up again. So I develop many strategies to avoid crashes, safe strategies, and I have to tell you honestly that I think I learned the most in such moments where something went out of control. If it was because of the wind, or I was making stupid things a little bit too low, or I was what you should never do, almost behind myself. Never fly behind yourself, always fly in front of you. I prefer always flying from side to side, then exactly in my direction, because something could go wrong and then you have the helicopter in your face, and that's not the nicest thing. I avoid crashing. I love very much not to crash. And believe me, if you have seen some of my videos, you see that I'm not just only hovering. I'm sometimes doing very slow passes. I'm doing sometimes funnels relatively close to the ground. I'm flying between trees. I'm flying in two holes. I'm flying slalom between trees. So I'm doing risky stuff. So it's not my small crash rate is not because I'm just standing and hovering. I do this a lot because this is very, very important. Even if you are a very experienced pilot, I'm not very experienced pilot, but if I would be, I would still hover a lot, because this is very important to keep fine control, and you should do everything you can do. You should do it all the time, because when you don't do something for a long time, you forget it. In my case, it's that way. So I had even such things that I was better flying circles clockwise in the beginning. So I was training all the time counterclockwise, and suddenly I was much better in counterclockwise circles than in clockwise. So then I had to start again to do the clockwise circles to bring it on the same level. So it's very important to train everything, and OMP Hobby was telling me that they like that I'm crashing very few, so I want to even give them a proposition. There's not always time for everything. I am having this new M2 Evo, and this will be my daily working horse. So this little machine will fly a lot, and I really want to write down, because I will fly this machine exclusively. So I want to write down how many flights this machine has behind it, and if OMP is interested, I can give this machine to them, so that they can really analyze how much use is there, how much is there some loose in the swash plate, how are the bearings looking, because the good thing is, in my flying now, I had my last crash I think 3 months ago, so I'm almost not crashing anymore, because I have more and more strategies to save my helicopters. I have other flybarless flight controller settings, so my helicopters are very fast reacting, so I'm able to even sometimes save something that looks impossible. So I'm not replacing all parts, so there's a good chance that I have 1,000 flights on this helicopter and there's not a single part replaced. So this is a good opportunity to see how are the bearings, how are the motors working, are there some tolerances, everything. So even in the swash plate, you can see sometimes after many flights, it's getting a little bit loose. There's getting some play. So this might be very interesting, and OMP is interested in a pilot who is really flying relatively safe, to get an input how the models will look after a long time without any replacement, without replacing any parts. So this is part of my whole thing, and OMP wants to help me to continue my passion, to let it grow, also in the meaning of the word. So with this bigger machine, which is really fantastic. I love the sound, and I could hide even this number of 10,000 flights in front of you all, because I cannot do a lot of stuff. 10,000 flights for nothing. So I didn't learn anything. I'm flying very precise. Nobody can tell me that this is not true, because I think I have quite control over my models, because I'm really able to fly on the centimeter, I would say, or 5 centimeters. I'm flying around trees, I'm flying between trees, I'm flying into holes. So, and have very seldom contact. I'm flying in this room, so I'm flying in my house. I never touched any furniture, I never touched any chair, any wall, nothing. Sometimes as an actor I'm living in hotels, so I take my small M2 Evo, M1 Evo with me, and I'm flying in my hotel room. So I'm taking off from the bed or something from the table or something. I never ever touched anything. I never damaged anything. So this is one thing I surely can do. And I'm doing a lot of acrobatics. So somebody told me this is already 3D stuff. If you do loops, if you do rolls, flips. I'm now experimenting, and I love it. Oh, I take the small one. I love it. I'm now training flips on one place. It is so much more difficult than I ever thought, because the time, when you are here, you have to be neutral. Here you have to give negative pitch. Here you have to be neutral again. Here you have to give positive pitch to hold this machine really on a right way that looks this way. Or I'm training rolls on one place. In the past, my rolls were looking like this, always with or my backflips were looking like this, and a lot of rolling around, and nothing was on one place. And this is also great training, because I have so many close calls, not close calls because I do this very high up in the sky, but the heli is going sometimes to an unexpected direction, because it's just, I'm not good in the timing at the moment. It's getting better and better, and most astonishing is, for me, I can do rolls in forward flight very well, meanwhile, with negative pitch. So I hold the helicopter on one line, and even in the side direction, if you look at this way, and the helicopter flies this way, it doesn't go in other directions, so I'm keeping the line. So this is fantastic training. It's something else. And so I would not say that I didn't do any progress. I'm happy with my progress, and the most of all, I almost forgot to say, I'm not comparing myself with others. And that is what one of the team pilots I met here in Katowice, he told me, don't compare yourself with others. It's not about that you are flying lower, that you are mowing, cutting the grass lower than the others, that you are more doing spectacle. Do the things you love. And I'm very happy that OMP Hobby took me, although I'm not a 3D pilot, although I'm not the most talented. because I'm representing a very big group. First of all, one reason I forgot again as well is my age. So I'm 62 now. So I'm not a young man. I'm very young in my heart. Oh, I was covering my team pilot. This is not good. So I'm very young in my heart. I sometimes think I'm 10 years old, and they took me as well because I'm very loyal to the brand. I don't have any other helicopter anymore. The Blade I will sell my first helicopter, my stupid buy. I will sell now because I don't want to see it anymore. It was a little bit horrible to fly this machine. So, and I have the same thing as a musician. I'm a bass player, and 22 years ago I was buying a Fender Jazz bass. It's my loved instrument until today, and I will never buy another bass. Why? I'm happy with this. I told you in a video that this helicopter was lying 2 weeks in the rain. I took it home and it was flying again. Even, believe me, even this battery that was in this helicopter, it was to zero. I was reactivating it very carefully with the smart charger. Very slowly I was connecting it, disconnecting it until it had some unloading it, and it's living until today, although it was lying 2 weeks in the rain connected with the helicopter. I thought it would get a shortcut or something. So I have many good experiences, and these are also not played. It's not that I'm promoting these products, it's just my experience. So I have already the M2, I have the M2 Evo, I have the M1, the M1 Evo, edit. I have the M2 Evo, I have the M2 V2, I have the M2 Explorer. So I have now with the M4, I'm having 5 different models. So I have to keep some kind of stock even if I'm almost not crashing, because sometimes I have to replace something. For instance, these pitch control arms I'm checking regularly because they are getting used. It's like with the tire or the brake disc in a car. So I have to have some parts, not because I'm crashing a lot, because sometimes something gets used, or sometimes the tail blade scratches the ground. I would also not cut or I'm hitting bush with the tail blade and it's getting a little bit deformed, and I would not use it because it can crack. Because of this, I need some parts. And now is the most astonishing part maybe in this whole thing is that in 10,000 flights I did not have even one single technical defect. So all of my machines, if it's this machine that was lying 2 weeks in the rain, they are having the first main motor, they are having the first tail motor, every of these machines. I had a little problem with an M1, but it was probably also caused by myself, because the original plastic servos were giving up after many crashes. So I had crashes where I had bent main shafts, I replaced several times the feathering shaft. So these little servos got a lot of hits, and one day they were quitting. So this is also not a problem of OMP Hobby. It's just me crashing these helis more than the M2, because every new thing I tried with the M1, and I solved this one little problem, that I had 3 servos that were giving up on me and behaving erratically. I was ending this problem by upgrading to Hawk design or Hawk tuning from Hawk RC metal case servos, and since I have them, I don't have any problem anymore. But it can be also the problem, or the reason can be that I'm not crashing anymore. So I did not crash with one of these. So it could be because of the missing crashes that it's working. So I have replaced them on 2 of my M1s, and so I never had a problem again. So this one has as well these Hawk tuned metal case servos. But beside this, either on a not on an M2 Evo with the plastic case servos, or the M2 V2 with a metal case servos, I never had any problem. And these motors are, I don't know, unbelievable, because every of my M2s except this one, the newest, has about 1,000 flights for sure, because I'm flying every I would say about 70% of all flights I made with the M2s, because these are my daily working horses. The M1 is now mainly used for indoor flying, so this is much less. When the weather is bad, when the winter is coming, I will go out with these machines again. But for the time being, it was the M2 that was every day in the air, and now it will be the M4, because the M4 is now my new favorite. And I think that's a thing that is a little bit not safe with flying such big helicopters, that if you once start to fly a big machine, you will be fascinated by them. So that I have to warn you. And on this way to 10,000 flights, I made many, I learned so many things. I came from a very simple, the OMP T6 transmitter in the beginning. I upgraded my game in this year to the TX12 from Radio Master. This was the step of the century for me, because the flying performance, the precision is so much different. It was good that I was flying with this machine, because this machine, with this transmitter, because it was filtering away a little bit shaky moves, and I was a little shaky. But now, after 2 years, I won't go back anymore to another transmission emitter, maybe only to the better, even once. I don't know if it's necessary, but even Jonas Wackershauser told me that the Radio Master is absolutely enough. So I was learning everything, because I started with helicopters not having any experience in any RC field. I was not driving cars, I was never flying planes, I was not swimming, driving boats, I don't know, nothing. The first RC vehicle I ever had was a helicopter. So I took the easiest, irony, and but I learned it. So I learned with the help of my friend Matthias, for instance. I learned to use and program the transmitter. I was going away from very simple balance chargers to smart chargers. So I think my batteries are liking this very much, because they don't give up on me. So I'm having still, after 10,000 flights, I am having still some of my first batteries I bought in 2021. So they have hundreds and hundreds of cycles. I don't know this, because this would be too much. I'm just interested how much I'm flying, also to count the time I was in the air with this helicopter, because every flight, in average, my M2 flights are 4 minutes and 30 seconds. With this M4, I can fly 10 minutes, but I'm still not, my brain is not good enough, so I'm landing after 5 minutes and I'm taking up again, because 10 minutes is really a long time with such a big machine. So I want to be able to tell once how much am I flying, how many hours I have on the sticks, So I never had a simulator. I would not say no if somebody can really give me a good argument to others than the known to train on a simulator. Why not? So I'm not closing myself. I'm happy that I will have the opportunity to test models, that I will have the opportunity to test new parts, to make some kind of endurance tests that are important for you guys out there who want to fly without having problems. So if I can see some problems, I will go back to OMP Hobby and will tell them. For instance, in a new model, upcoming model, when it's still in the pre-production series, we can work on things, and I hope I can give to the community a lot. I will, part of my being OMP Hobby Heli Team pilot will be to help others. So I'm already now receiving emails, I'm receiving messages. I was having a couple of video conferences on Facebook with pilots who have less experience, and I'm able to help them. And that is wonderful because I received so much help from different people all over the world that it is a wonderful feeling to give this back. So I would never have thought that OMP Hobby will take me into their team because my abilities are not making me a perfect 3D pilot, but it seems that OMP Hobby wants as well one representative of another group, the older people that are passionate, and to show them that everybody can start flying helicopters and can come to some level that is really satisfying, because I'm learning every day something new, something that I could do, I can do better. I can do better now on the next day. It's not always going up. Sometimes I have small steps back because I'm just not concentrated, or I'm not in a good shape, or I slept too few. There are bad days, but in general I feel that the progress is going on, and this is something wonderful. This is something like in life. You will continue to learn all the time when you are flying helicopters. This is what I'm saying to every new pilot, and this is for me the magical thing in flying helicopters, that you will learn all the time. If it's a new program, if it's a new transmitter, if it's a new charger, if it's a new software, if it's to build a kit by your own, what I never did before, if it to set the machine up. I will do in the next time a video, not only flight videos. I will do a video of a very important matter for me. It's the safety. What you can do to not get hurt, to not get hurt other people or animals, or what you can avoid, what is very important. This will be one of my next videos, and I have learned so much. I can give already so much after only 2 years, and this is fantastic. And I want to say a big thank you to OMP Hobby, that they want to help me build, to continue my passion, to make it even deeper. If this is possible, it's always possible. Even my table is getting a little bit small, and it will get smaller and smaller, because there will be new helicopters. That's part of being a team pilot, that you have to test new things, that you have to test upcoming models, that you have to test upgrades, new parts, and so on. So I have another reason to fly even more. That is fantastic. And I'm happy to share this now with you. Believe me, these 10,000 flights, why should I lie to myself? Why should I write wrong numbers to my calendars. Why should I add something in a bad way? I would lie to myself, I would not be happy. So no reason for this. So thank you very much for your time. Hope you like this video. If you like this video, give it a like. If you like it very much, subscribe to my channel and stay tuned. This was RC Kopterlove. Bye.